Our next amazing speaker is a wonderful lady who I actually got to do a little interview with, and I had the pleasure of meeting her when she came to my house. She is so inspiring. I'm so stoked that she's here today to share her story with us. I'll tell you a little bit about her. Being heard, well, basically I'll say her name is Riddell. That's our next speaker. Being heard is a basic human need. Believe, be heard, be visible. Your Voice Matters with Riddell specialises in powerful, transformational tools for healing the wounds of life's traumas and finding peace to reclaim your dignity and self-worth through love, confidence and your voice. Grab a little lippy and a whole lot of heart, and please give a huge warm welcome to Riddell.
Today, I have an awesome life, but that was not always my story. Through pain, I learned forgiveness, love, and just getting on with it. You may be wondering, why would we want to talk about this? You might be in a position where you've had your voice suppressed for a variety of reasons. Mine came through grief and loss, but it doesn't matter what the suppression was. The tools for moving forward are exactly the same. I'm going to share something today, and that's my heart, quite precious, but it's going to show you that you don't have to live that journey of pain. It's not unusual when life's traumas hit us for our life to unravel, but it's also necessary to know that you can step forward and make a difference and live a wonderful life. When you start sharing your story after you've had deep trauma, quite often you're still speaking from a point of pain, and I was doing that. And what it led to was trauma energy, an energy that drained me and stopped me from moving forward. But once I released that, I was able to share my story as I do today from a point of strength. So come with me on a little journey now. When I was 4 years old, we were at a public function and I corrected my father, of whom I was terrified, and got a hiding. From that moment, I made the decision that it wasn't safe to speak up and what I had to say wasn't important. I carried that underlying belief for decades. So I grew up in a violent alcoholic household. My father told me I was stupid, useless and worthless and not worth educating. I was a sad, unhappy, frightened child with no self-confidence, no self-esteem and no self-worth. Moving on then into my teenage years, my escape was on Saturday afternoons. I used to go to my girlfriends and we'd get all dressed up to go to the dance on Saturday night. So this particular night, there I was in my green gingham dress, scoop neckline, little puffy sleeves, cinched waistline, flared skirt, beautiful rope petticoats and bobby socks and shiny shoes. I thought I was the bee's knees. The excitement was I had met this guy and I thought he was my dreamboat, and he promised me a night to remember. My naive 15-year-old self thought that meant a drive to the park, a peck on the cheek, look at the moon and then go home. But I heard a noise. I turned and there were two guys on the back seat. They ignored my screams to stop, 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 and told me if I opened my mouth, they would come back and finish me off. That kept me quiet for 45 years. You can't believe how things can happen. But worse was to come, a pregnancy and an adoption. And the things rang, the authorities' voices rang in my ears of unclean, dirty, disgusting, a disgrace to yourself, the universe, and everything in between. So I lived that life. And 3 years later, I had a second child. My self-worth was so low. Go nursing, they said, get out of society's way, because no decent man will want me. So I did. And I became officious and efficient. Bitch nurse describes me beautifully. But I proved them wrong, and I met this amazing man and had a wonderful 31-year marriage. Now, it wasn't without challenge. Oh, good on it. It wasn't without challenge. At 24, I took on 4 kids aged 10 to 16. Woohoo! And then we had a baby the next year. So I had love, I had respect, I had everything that I needed. I grew and blossomed. And in that time, I joined Toastmasters. Little did I know 40 years ago that those skills would help me in the speaking, the coaching, the moving forward that I do today. So I lived that life, and in 2002, the world as I knew it fell apart. Les left for the heavenly fields. I was terrified of being alone, terrified of having to cope, terrified of having to do things I had never had to do before. So I did what I do best, and I pushed until I dropped. 1 year later, I was 51 kilos and an emotional, physical and spiritual wreck. At that time, I began journaling, and that journaling took me to the real raw places where I didn't want to go. But it evolved into a book, Beyond Abuse, and that was published, self-published in 2006. It opened doors and I started speaking, running programs, etc. Life rolled on, and 12 months or so ago, I decided that I would do a rewrite on the book. So I've done that, and it came out in May of this year. The day it came out, and it hit Amazon Australia at #1 3 days later. Woo! How good was that? It includes not only my story, but stories of other men and other women. So along with that amazing thing, like the day I saw the link, a light bulb went off and I thought, I'm ready. I'm ready to search for the 2 babies I gave up in the 1960s. 2 months later, I met my daughter. Well, the daughter that I thought I would never see, touch or hold, I have met, hugged and talked to. We have the God-given opportunity to create a relationship. How good is that? So now we're in 2018. We're past the, I'm going to get you, you bastard. We're open, we're raising a consciousness, raising humanity, and looking at deeper conversations. So as we move forward and look at where we can go, I'm living proof that no matter what happens, you can stand up and still be who you are. You can have a wonderful life if you step up and do something. So there were 3 things that helped me enormously: forgiveness, confidence, and love. The 3 points about forgiveness are it's all about you. It's helping you so that you can move on. It doesn't condone what happens or say it didn't happen. It's your way of finding peace. You can start on it before you feel ready, and it's not a one-time action. It's an active, daily choice. Those 3 things gave me back my self-worth, my dignity, and my confidence. And that leads into confidence, which is that amazing energy that just sparkles out at people. And you know it when you see it and you say, I want some of what she's got. It's being comfortable in your own skin and being able to deal with stressful situations. It's just the essence of who you can be. And lastly, love. I learned to love through my husband. He was the first man to show me respect, and I grew and blossomed within that time. But what I learned later, on being on my own, is the value of self-love. When you live within those parameters, when you're steeped in your own truth, it's a wonderful place to be. So just imagine what would be possible if you changed your story, if you let go of the old patterns. What would happen then? What if you were really understood for who you are? And what if changing your story transformed your life? Wouldn't that be good? Who you are is God's gift to you. Who you become is your gift to God and the universe. My gift to you is to bring hope, love, and joy. So grab your lippy, a whole lot of heart, and come and join me.
Wow, Di, I have tears in my eyes. That was so amazing. Isn't she amazing? Thank you for your authenticity, for sharing that really vulnerable story with us. That was just huge. I have to hug you now. That's a big audience hug. That's a hug from everyone. Wasn't that amazing? This is what this is all about at Australia, our show that we're doing now. We're all going to be talking about our journey, and we're going to be doing it with honesty and authenticity. And you get to learn about things so that you know that your voice counts too. Now,
Absolutely.
I have an audience question for you, madam.
Oh, really?
Let's see what I have here. Now, you ready?
I'm ready.
Tick, 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 tick. Why is speaking up so vital in the healing process? And why, it's a two-part question, and why does their voice matter? As in,
To answer the first question, silence leads to powerlessness. And when they team together, they are a powerful voice that will keep you down and unable to speak up and lead your life. So speaking out, your voice matters. No matter if it's small, it can still be heard. But your voice matters very, very much. And I think it's a huge message for women to learn.
Awesome. Thank you so
Does that
much,
answer?
Di. That's a great answer. Let's give Di a big round, huge, big round of applause. Thank you so much. Yay. Thank you. That was awesome. We're going to have one more person talk about Di while lovely Di is standing on stage.
We will have one more person talk about
And
Di.
then we'll cross back. Thank you, roving reporter Maria,
Thank you.
as she
Thank you
roves
so
around
much.
the room.
Impressive women everywhere. So we're going to go over here. Hello, Robin.
Hi Maria, congratulations Di. I have known Di for many years and it's wonderful, most brilliant presentation, wonderful to see you today. And what I got from Di, I made a note that silence leads to powerlessness.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you. Back to you, Susie.
Thank you.
Write my first book. She was the one who supported me. Thank you, Robin.
Thanks very much to Di.